Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of One-on-One with Mr. Titan. Today we have former 7-year NFL vet, second team All-SEC 08, first team All-SEC, 2009, third team All-American 2009, second team All-Pro 2013. We got the Pro Bowler. We got the man. We got the myth. We got the legend. We got Dexter McCluster. What's happening, man?
Yes, sir. How you doing, man? I appreciate you having me on, man. I'm ready to have some fun.
Yeah, no problem, man. Again, that's a laundry list of accomplishments. And like we said before, like you said before, it wasn't easy to get. And, of course, playing in NFL, high level, and all that stuff, man, we do appreciate everything you did while you had your time in the NFL.
Yeah, man, thank you. I feel like I said earlier, man, when we talked before this, man, it's been a long road. It was tough, but it was well worth the ride. Most definitely. I'm happy where I am, man. I was able to see things that I probably never would have saw in life if it wasn't for the game, man. So much respect to the game.
Definitely. And again, we're going to go a little bit over your legendary career, drafted by, the Chiefs, second round in 2010, played for the Titans, obviously. Good thing. Played 2 years with the Titans.
Up.
Yes, sir. Tighten up. And then also played for San Diego. Then you played for a Canadian Football League. And then you also did the indoor football as well. So, again, like I said, respect everything that you did. When you put on the two-tone blue, man, you're a Titan for life. Regardless if you started off in Kansas City.
Oh, most definitely.
You're a Titan forever, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, man. Hey, and look, I'm still here in Tennessee, so
I know you are. That's awesome.
I'm actually a Tennessean right now, so I'm loving every moment of it. Yes, sir.
Definitely, bro. Again, thank you so much. And how's everything? How are you in general? How's everything? Before we get into everything,
Dexter in general, man, I'm pretty good, man. Actually, I'm happy. Waking up every day to my beautiful wife, my family, my daughters. I have 4 daughters. So they keep me busy. But where I am in life is a great place. I'm able to wake up and actually enjoy and embrace every moment, because it took sacrifice just to be away from the family for so long, whether it was what we had to put in, on the field, off the field, leaving here, going there. So, I'm able to actually sit back, soak it all in, and enjoy every single moment. So I'm doing good.
Definitely, man. It's almost like it's like your time off now, like you finally get to after like you said, you were away for so long, and now this is your retirement. This is your enjoyment. And again,
this is what I worked hard for.
Exactly, man.
Yes,
and
sir.
Again, that's awesome. And let's start it off, man. You were born in Largo, Florida. If no one knows, please explain what Largo, Florida. I'm from Miami, so I know, but just in case no one knows.
Right. But listen, every time I say I'm from Largo, I always get, is it Key Largo?
Key Largo,
No, it's Largo, baby. right outside of Tampa, about 15, 20 minutes outside of Tampa.
Yes, sir.
That born and raised there. Went to Largo High School down there. So my whole family, they're still right there in Florida. So I'm happy to call Largo my home.
Definitely. Yeah, that's like the very first thing everyone goes to is Key Largo, And I'm from Miami, so I was actually an hour away from Key Largo from where I was staying. So it was nice. Again, you played football in high school, but you also played basketball and you did track and field. So you're pretty athletic, man. You were all into sports. How did that work out, and how did you think? Did you want to do football at first, or you kind of were trying everything out and just testing the field out, man?
No, football was always my first love. I knew that. I think when I was like 7 years old, it was just a game that came so natural to me. This small guy, but it was a joy from the beginning. So football is all I've known from the beginning, my first love. But like you said, I did play basketball. I did run track. I actually went to States for high jump and long jump. A lot of people look at me like the speedster, the fast guy, the quick guy, but I went to States for jumping actually. So to be 5'8", man.
And you had some. I was looking at some of your stats. I'm like, God damn, how does he do that?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I went to States, man. I jumped 6'6" in the high jump, but that ended up getting me maybe 5th or 6th. But hey, I made it there. You know what I mean? So I did all of that. And it a lot of people ask, was it tough to kind of juggle, 3 sports, school, and just, being a kid? And it's not, because I'm a guy that's high energy all the time still. You know, I'm 32 years old and still have the energy like I'm still a teenager. You know,
there you
so
go, man.
Just having that ability to just enjoy and embrace everything that you're doing and give it your all. I mean, it kept me busy, and it actually made me the man I am today. Maybe the player I am today. So
there you go, man.
You know, it was cool. I was an all around athlete.
There you go. I mean, and it's funny. The thing is that it shows when you played football, because again, you were a running back, but you also played wide receiver, and you were also a player. So like you had different aspects to the game. So that shows the athletic ability that you had, man.
Yeah, and that's what I think kept me around a long time. You know, in the NFL. You know, because me going in, it was always that knock. Is he too small? Is he going to be hurt? He may be too fragile. You know, the unknown to them. You know,
Definitely.
Even though the whole time I knew who I was, I knew that I was able to play with the best of them. You know, but the proof was just in the pudding, and that's what drove me to go so hard, man. You know, so
definitely.
Yeah, so like I said, that's it. And even today, man, just the way I approach life, man, I have fun. I motivate. I'm a trainer now, certified trainer for about since January is when I became a trainer, and it's given me the ability to still be that leader, still have that energy, still look good myself, still make people feel good about themselves, even when they might not, feel so good about themselves.
Definitely.
So just to be that it factor, it's been cool for me.
Yeah, that is awesome. And again, I wish because you went to, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but you went to a Titans team which weren't the greatest. They were kind of a little flippy floppy, but man,
it was rough.
It was. But if you were on the Titans team this year, I mean, you're the type of person like you said before. I mean, you played with Mike Rabel in Kansas City, I think for a year, But
yeah, that's crazy.
You have exactly what the general manager wants, John Robinson wants. He wants a versatile player that could play all types of position. And man, you would
Right.
It's just upsetting because you could shine, man, especially it was just you're just so versatile,
and I
man.
get it. Like right. And even when I came here, me doing the same thing I was doing in Kansas City, I was like, okay, well, when I get here, it'll be, not like the same thing, playing everywhere, being interchangeable. And it was a little rough coming here. I think at that point, the organization, it just wasn't, they weren't on the same page, so to speak, from the top all the way to the bottom, so. But I mean, again, I had some fun. We had some fun in those years when I was here, man. We had some big games, and we had some key and great moments that, a lot of people are probably still talking about today. So, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, when things don't go your way, you still got to keep fighting, man. Still have fun, enjoy. Never lose the joy of being able to play a game like that. You know
Definitely,
what I mean?
Man. You have that mindset. A lot of people don't have, man, and I wish more people would have that type of mindset that you have, where it's just always positive, try to get the best out of every situation. And I mean, like you said, everything.
Why not? You know what I mean? Why not?
Exactly. Now you went to college in Ole Miss. All right, we got a wide receiver named AJ Brown, who's Ole Miss, and I know you represent Ole Miss like it's the back of your hand, man. You were the only player in SEC history with 1,000 yards running and 500 receiving, man. That's impressive.
That's big time. And I wonder if that still stands. I'm not sure it does or not, but to be able in the 75 plus years of SEC history, this little guy from Largo, Florida, was the first to do it, man. So I mean, it's a blessing, man.
Definitely.
It's just a blessing. Yeah.
And like I said, man, that is something you can always cherish. Yeah, I mean, records are going to be broken eventually.
Right.
I mean, nothing is going to stand, but to have that, I think it still stands, to be honest with you. But if not,
yeah, I do too.
I think it still stands. So again, that's so monumental, man, especially in your beginning of your stages of your career. Now, when you went to Ole Miss and stuff, how was it transferring to, from college football to the NFL? How was that for you?
From college football to the NFL?
Yes, sir.
I think it wasn't a big transition because I think at that time, even in college, I was a competitor already. I was a guy that I wanted a challenge. I embraced it. You know, you show me the biggest and the baddest guy, and I'm it's my job right now to make him look silly right now. You know, so I've always had that approach. So, you know, the way I practice like literally a game. You know, the coaches sometimes have to tell me, hey, slow down, it's a walkthrough. But I'm just so high energy because, you know, if I do it all week in practice, then in the game, it's nothing new. It's just it's muscle memory. Yes, so I did that all my career in college. Even in high school, I was that same guy. Then in college, and then once the NFL hit, it was just the same thing, just a bigger stage. That was it, but nothing else changed but the stage. And I welcomed that too, and I had some good times.
Definitely. Now, when you got drafted in 2010 by the Chiefs, I mean, I believe the quarterback at that time was Matt Castle, correct?
Yes, Matt Castle. Yep.
Matt Castle. All right. Now, here's a date I'm going to give to you. If this rings a bell, it should. September 13th, 2010. Does that ring anything for you, sir?
Yeah, I got that tattooed on me right here. September 13th, 2010. Yeah, my first NFL game, my debut, Monday Night Football against the Chargers, and my 90-yard punt return.
Yes, sir, touchdown. Man.
So, yeah, I definitely remember that one.
Definitely. And it was a beauty. I mean, again, the way you got into open field after that, it was damn nearly impossible to stop you. You were just so
right.
Once you had open field, like, it might as well give up because no one was tackling you. And you just had that vision, which I feel like nowadays you don't see that many punt returners. They're not that many big men. You know, it kind of almost like, I don't know if I would say they kind of shy away from that now, and they're just playing it safe. What do you think about that? And then after that, we're gonna obviously talk about your 94-yard run. But
so my thing is, see, it's an adrenaline rush to me. You know, having those guys coming down here and just in a split moment, you have to make that decision. You have to trust your guys. So, I mean, when I look at football now, I won't say everybody, and everybody deserves to be there because they are in the NFL. Definitely. But a lot of those guys are not that courageous. They're playing it safe, like you said. They don't want to get hurt, you know, or they don't want to, you know, make a mistake. But one thing, if you ask, in that year I went to the Pro Bowl in Kansas City, I told my guys, I said, listen, I'm not fair catching. So every punt that's just that they're punting, every time they punt to us, just know I'm not catching. And that mindset, they knew no matter what, he's gonna try to catch this thing because that's who he is. And once they recognize, you know, that he's not gonna fair catch, and we started scoring touchdowns, we started changing games, we started, you know, building momentum. The rest was just in the books after that, you know. So again, being a punt returner, it just takes, you know, courage, and I think maybe sometimes it's lacking that, you know, nowadays.
You think the NFL has gotten a little bit softer, especially on the rules now? I mean, you can say yes or no. I think so. I think just because of everything that's happening.
I would say with the rules, a lot of stuff, it needed to be in place. Most definitely to keep us safe, because, you know, we all have families to go home to. We all have a life after football to, you know, to live, you know. So, and yes, that the rules need to be applied. But then on the other hand, I was watching some of the games the other day, and some things, it just minor tit for tat, and it was just football, but you're getting those unnecessary penalties to where it's like, okay, come on, like that shouldn't have been a flag. So it's really iffy. So in that aspect, yes, it has become a little softer. But as a player, I can tell you that I don't care how many rules they put in place. When you're out there playing, it's still So it's a contact sport. It's a grown man sport. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it, really.
Definitely. Now, with your 94-yard run, I mean, if you looked at all your highlights and stuff, usually, regardless if you were in the backfield running the ball or you were kickoff return or punt return, you always seem to make the first person miss. Always. It was disgusting. And it's something about that that's so smooth, the way you just go from side to side across the field. It was something beautiful to watch. Now, can you go through that 94-yard punt return and what was going through your mind? And because the crowd went crazy, man. That was crazy. I love watching that. It went crazy.
Yeah, so I guess I'll tell you the whole story. I've told the story to a few people I've talked to. So that night, right, I hadn't returned any punts. It was Javier Arenas. You remember the great punt returner at Alabama, and then came to Kansas City. So he was doing all that. And yeah, in practice, I get some reps, but my mind was not ready to even catch a punt that game.
Mm-hmm.
So, we weren't getting anything going, and we needed a spark. So our head coach, Todd Haley, leaned over to our special teams coach and was like, hey, I want to see McCluster return one. And I read his lips when he said it. So I'm like, oh, shit. Right? So now I'm going, okay, don't panic. Just get the job done. And it had just started raining a little bit. It was drizzling a little bit, right? So now I'm out on the field. I got my gloves in the inside of my thighs because that's the driest part of your body, especially when it's raining, right? So I'm just back there talking to myself like, all right, Dex, listen, just catch the ball. I don't care if you gain a yard. Catch the ball, right? So, boom, the ball's in the air. So I'm looking up. And at that time, I didn't have a shield on, so the water hit me in my eyes. So when I caught it, if you watch it again after this, I caught it so low to make sure that I had that ball. Mm-hmm. And when I looked up and realized I had, had some room to run, all I knew I had to, like you said, that one guy had to miss. So I hit him with a 1-2 real quick. And after that, the Red Sea departed, and it was just a foot race from there on out, man. So it was almost surreal, because at the end of the day, I wasn't expecting to go out there and catch a punt. My number was called. I had to be courageous. I could have wet the bed, but I made it my point to, hey, at least set one goal, and that's to catch the ball. And after that, instincts kind of kicked in, and that was it. 94 yards, and I think with that run, I broke.
You did break the record, but then Hunt came on.
What's the name? Yeah, in 95, he broke about 1 yard. Yeah,
1 yard.
Hey, but look, that's 3 great punt returners, man. So you can't be mad at that.
That's true. Again, like we said before, I mean, records are always broken, but again, by 1 yard. But definitely. And then from Kansas City, you went to the Tennessee Titans. Let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, like we said already before, that organization was still trying to find themselves from, the top to the bottom. I mean, it was a little rough and stuff like that. I was excited when I heard the news that we got you because I knew what kind of a threat you were. And you had some really good games. You had your running ability as well as catching, because that's another thing. You were really, really good at catching the ball. Some running backs have that, some don't. Some
don't. Right.
You didn't. You played like you look like a wide receiver. So how was it time in Tennessee, and who did you get close to, or any stories that you'd like to share with the Titan fans out here?
Yeah, man. Again, man. When I came to the Titans, man, I was excited. I had just came off a Pro Bowl year, new city, new town, bring my family to the city of country music. You know what I mean? I knew nothing about it, but I was excited just to be around and just learn a new culture. And as far as on the field, man, again, like you said, we had some great moments. I have a lot of great memories. I had a lot of good games and played with a lot of good teammates. So my time here was good. The records might have not shown it, but one thing I can just speak for myself. That same guy, every single day at practice, I won 110%.
There you go.
In the game, I gave everything I had, no matter what, every single day. And that's why now, even just sitting back at home, people are like, man, you still can play. Yeah, I probably can still play. But the difference is I know that when it was my time, I gave it everything that I had, so
no regrets.
I'm okay with that, Yeah. So like, again, man, I still live in Tennessee. I've been here about 6 years now, I got a home here. It's my family, raising my family here. So this is home, so I embraced it and it embraced me. So again, I had some great memories, great moments. And some of the guys I've ran across, Leon Washington, he was a guy that I watched. He's a guy that I watched before he even got here, just a smaller guy, but I looked up to guys like him. And when I got here, we got really close because just seeing what type of professional he was, how he took care of his body, how he paid attention to details, little stuff. So I got a lot of my game from him, especially, the blocking techniques, because we are smaller. So when you got guys 200 plus pounds coming at you, you have to be able to win with technique as well as just the will and the want to, make the block, So I learned a lot of key things from him that I took along with me and, still use to this day. Even when I coach my athletes now, I teach them about the little things. It's all about the little things, and the rest will fall into place.
Definitely. You spent 2 years in Tennessee, and you also went to San Diego. How long were you in San Diego for?
Just 1 year. 1 year,
right? And after that,
yes.
If you can explain, you had a freak accident, how you injured yourself, correct?
Right. My forearm.
Your forearm, right? Can you Can you explain a little bit of that just in case, because a lot of people don't actually know what actually happened and stuff.
What happened?
Yep.
Right. So I was in San Diego, so I was in like a 2-bedroom condo, and so my wife and kids, we're a package deal. So everywhere I go, they come with me, right? And sometimes they come out of a suitcase, or sometimes we get comfortable and they hang everything up. So in this case, it was, I think, after practice, and I was just at the house, and my daughters, they were running around. They were just starting to run, starting to walk in the lane. So running around, and one of them had my phone, but I wasn't paying any attention to it. I thought she had it, but I'm watching TV. All right, everything's all good. So fast forward about maybe 20, 30 minutes later, I'm like, where's my phone? So I'm looking for my phone, getting frustrated. And in that frustration, I saw a suitcase. And in that suitcase, I was upset. So I'm throwing stuff around. So I didn't know the suitcase was that heavy. So when I grabbed it and threw it, I felt something right underneath. Because I fractured it here in Tennessee before. And here I got surgery, had a rod put in it. And then when I moved that suitcase, it fractured right underneath where the plate ended. So that was it.
And it's a non-injury. I mean, things like that, unfortunately, happen, and it's the craziest thing, because
that's the worst.
You get me, like you're a football player. You think you would get hurt on the field, and then something crazy, bizarre happens like that.
Something just like that.
Right. And it just shows you how quick things can change.
And that's why you have to give it everything you got while it's here.
Yes, sir. Then after San Diego, you played in the Canadian League. Now, how was the Canadian League? And how
it was fun.
It was. How did you so here's let me think. What was the difference between the NFL and the Canadian League, and what made you want to go to the Canadian League? Obviously, you still wanted to play football. You still had love for it. But so if you could explain a little bit.
Yeah, so how I ended up in Canada, I had been away from football for like a year and a half already. So I was actually coaching at a high school here in Tennessee, at Ravenwood High School. Okay. So I was there the summer and the spring of, was that 2000 and either 17 or 18, in the summer or in the spring, right? So I was around it. I was out there with the guys. I'm still running routes with the receivers, just showing them that, hey, the coach still has it. You know what I mean? Just showing them an example so they can see it and do it the best of their abilities. So I was doing that, and I started to get that urge, like, man, listen, I still got some juice left in this tank. Yeah. So I reached out to James Wilder. He's from Tampa, Florida. He played at Florida State some years back, and he was already down there. And I knew they had just won the Grey Cup and everything, and he was the man up there. So I was like, hey man, look, go ahead and tell the people that my people want to talk to their people and get me down there, right? So made the phone calls, talked it up. They flew me down for a tryout, right? So I did my tryout, killed it. Came back, they were like, hey, we want to keep you, but I didn't know at the time that it's a ratio. They have to have a certain amount of Canadians and a certain amount of Americans on the team.
I didn't know that.
No matter what. So it has to have that ratio. So they already had it. So if they would have added me onto the active part of it, it would have never worked, right? So they were like, well, we can keep you here. We want to keep you, but we can only do a practice squad. And I was like, nah, I'm going home to my family and just relax. So if y'all need me, just call me, right?
Yeah.
And so he was like, all right, cool. So they would get my flight information. And then like 5 minutes later, the coach came back in and was like, hey, we can't let you go, man. So we're gonna So
they're like, ended up practice for squad material. Come back here.
Right. So they ended up making some things work, and then I signed that day. So again, man, it was different. The field's wider. Mm-hmm. The field goal post is right in front of the goal line. So
weird.
It was different. It was very different, but it's definitely unique. And having that much space, I loved it, but it took me when I first got there, I was still in good shape, but I still wasn't in that football shape.
Definitely.
So I ended up the day before I was finna get my first start, I tore my hamstring slightly. So that set me back, a few more weeks. And in Canada, so I'm teaching y'all a little bit. So in Canada, if you get hurt, if you can't come back in I think a week, either a week or two, then you automatically have to sit out for 5 weeks automatically.
Oh, wow.
So let's say I hurt my knee today, and if I can't go by not the next game, the game after that, then I'm automatically put on the 5 game no matter what.
Wow.
The 5 weeks. So yeah, so that sucks. So like even with my hamstring, it came back in like 3 weeks, but I still had to wait 2 more weeks to even play. You know what I mean? So it was different.
Especially
Stuff like that
a
is
hamstring
different.
that kind of lingers sometimes, and you have to give it
right.
Wow.
Right. So you automatically that, but that's again though, man. It was fun, man, having that much space. So when I had my first game, I caught a couple screen passes, got some yards, so I was back in the swing of things, man. So I enjoyed Canada, man. It was just another opportunity for me to go out there, be a mentor, be a great teammate, and still do and play the game that I love, man. I enjoyed it, and I had a chance to bring my whole family to Canada, so it was dope. It was dope.
And it was Toronto, right? The team was Toronto, correct?
Yeah, Toronto. I couldn't have fell in a better city, man.
Yeah, nice.
It's amazing up there. If have you ever been?
Yeah, it's like a cleaner New York, man.
Right, exactly. Yes, sir. Yeah, I love it. So we're definitely going to visit again in the near future. I can tell you that.
That's cool, man. And then you did the indoor football league.
Yeah. So again, man. So a lot of people, they were like, hold on. So I was at home. I was thinking, you know what? I'm done. I'm completely done. But if I get a call, if opportunity presents itself, why not? So they ended up reaching out to me. So I was like, talking to my wife about it, talking with them back and forth. And they were like, well, if you come, we can only pay this, da-da-da. I said, it's not about that anymore. Mm-hmm. It's about me playing this game and still just enjoying this game that I've been playing since I was 7 years old, So we made things happen. So when I got up there, it's like me, I'm looking forward to like meeting the guys and just, being a part of them. But when I got there, it's almost like they were like, oh my gosh, that's Dexter McCluster.
They were asking you for your autograph and stuff.
yeah, you know what I mean? And even one of my coaches, I didn't know he was a coach at the time, but when he saw me, he was just like, oh my gosh, is that the da-da-da? So it was kind of surreal, because here I am. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna earn the trip. I'm gonna show them my work hard. I want to earn my respect here. I just want to come in here off of what I've done. But it was kind of cool because some of the guys that are playing, they still have dreams to get to the NFL. So they have dreams to get to the CFL in Canada. So like them, me being around them, I was actually motivation. Like, they were asking me questions. I was that mentor. So I think that last year, me playing last year was, really setting me up for after football because I was like, now I'm that mentor. I'm that personal trainer. I am who I am because of that my career, but that moment right there was, gave me the opportunity to be unselfish and sit back and like just teach and give these guys hope because they deserve it just like I did, and it can happen for them if they work hard and see it. And if I show them how I work and show them what it is to be a pro, maybe they can take that and when they move forward, they have something to at least go by to get them to where they need to be.
And that's again, like we're talking about. That's awesome. But if you think about it, that's like one door closing and another opportunity open, like you said.
Right.
Like
yeah. And listen though, I can sit back. I played on almost every level of football. You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
And it's dope. It's something like I can sit back and when I get older, like man, I really played in the NFL. I played in the CFL. I played in the indoor league. I mean, I've done all of this. It's something to be proud about. So that's something I'm looking forward to telling my grandkids. When I get about 50, 60 years old. Yeah.
Definitely, man. And then let's talk about what you do now, because like you said, it kind of built you up to exactly where you're at now, and it's McCluster Fit. So
McCluster Fit, baby. Yes, sir. That's the brand. So how that fell up. So after I knew it was over with, when I left the indoor league that year, I knew I was completely done. I knew that my job was finished, right? So I just wanted to still work out and keep myself in shape, make sure, I'm still who I am every single day, right? So I was doing that and I started like hashtagging McCluster Fit, just kind of talking about myself. And some weeks went by and people were like, hey, are you training now? Do you train? And I'm like, no. They were like, man, well, you should look into it. So I looked into it, ended up taking the test, getting certified. And that started in January. So from January to now, I mean, every day I'm busy.
Got it.
Every
I
single
mean,
day.
I see it on Instagram, man.
Right. I'm
Busy.
on the move, right? So I train, people from just the everyday person that wants to, be fit, that wants to feel good about themselves, just wants to get up and do something positive.
Definitely.
I'm doing that. And also as well, still, I have young athletes on the football field, that I'm training. I have ages from 9 all the way to college, so
Nice.
it's just been, it's a dope feeling. It's a dope balance because when I wake up in the morning, I wake up and I'm not going to work.
Exactly. You're your own boss, man.
Right. And it's like, man, I get joy out of giving them joy. I'm saying, seeing them, giving them something to look forward to, giving my all to them. So maybe they may take, if not one thing from me, I'm cool with that. And that one thing is, hey, no matter what, you gonna go get it.
There you go.
Nobody can tell you no. You go and get it. If you have to be ready to, you have to be prepared to fail. To be honest, because if you're scared to fail, you'll never try it.
Exactly.
So just try it, man, and see what happens in life. It don't matter what it is, just try it. And if it don't work out, it's all good. At least you tried.
Yeah, my grandfather would always say, like, he would say there's either you what was it? There's no it's either you do it or you learn, but there is no fail. He goes, you never fail. Either you learn from it or you do it.
Right.
And it's
right. And I like that.
I mean, it's true. And again, you're always on the grind and stuff. And man, I get inspired because I'm like, shit, when I'm at home and stuff and I see it, like I see all these people doing it, it inspires you, You're like, man.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Instead of me sitting on the couch, you see people doing stuff like that. So.
Yes. And speaking of that too, the park I go to with my clients, I've been going there for months, and it's always these Japanese family, or Vietnamese, Japanese, one of the two out there, and they're always just out there moving around. They're older people, so they just kind of move their body around, just get a little exercise. And so we speak to them every morning. They speak to us, so it's almost like we're like a big group because we look forward to seeing each other every morning, right? Definitely. And now, fast forward a couple of months now, they've been seeing my clients working out. They've been seeing what we do. They've been seeing us every day, and vice versa. And now today, during the workout today, my clients are doing jumping jacks. They were behind them doing everything that my clients were doing. So it was kind of dope. Like, man, like they're really looking. We've motivated them to try to do what we're doing over here, and it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing.
That's awesome, man. Again, just keep doing that. That's, again, like I said, it's motivation, and it's especially like you said, like the NFL you don't last that long. Not that you don't last long, but there is a life after the NFL, and it's
football is such a short period of your life. You know what I mean? It may seem long. You play 7-10 years, but after that, you have the rest of your life to look forward to. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And that's like the next chapter in your life. So again, I'm glad that, you're doing what you love, man. That's the most important thing. And so,
yes, sir.
I love
that. Man, Tabby, hey, at McCluster Fit, baby. If
you're
ever in Nashville, Tennessee, the surrounding areas, come to McCluster Fit. I promise you. It's worth the ride.
There we go, man. That's good.
It's worth the ride.
Plug it in, brother. And
yes, sir.
Again, before we I let you go, because I don't want to keep you there for that long. I know you got little girls to attend. I gotta
get a little rest before these next sessions.
What do you think about the Titans so far? What do you like? What do you like?
Well, first and foremost, man, is when you're 2-0, you're 2-0. Right.
Absolutely.
So whether it's a good game, a bad game, whatever it may be, we're 2-0. That's a positive.
Yes, sir.
But one thing I do see, they have to get a little more consistent in the run game, even though they still are getting the pounding yards. But I mean, they can be dominant, which they know. So get that started a little earlier, get them started a little earlier. But other than that, man, just stay in attack mode from beginning to end. You know what I mean? Don't just be that fourth quarter team to try to win it at the end, because you're gonna face, opponents that, it's gonna be different levels of competition every week. So sometimes you can't afford to get to that fourth quarter and try to win that game. But hey, again, they're 2-0, man. I'm rooting for them every Sunday. So
yes, sir.
I'm looking forward to a good season. Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's still early. It's still early. So
very early.
Once everybody settles down a little bit, you be right back on schedule.
There you go, man. That's good words from a former Titan. Again, Dexter, it's been more than a pleasure to have you, man. I do appreciate taking the
Yeah.
time.
Thank you.
And everything, man. I loved everything you did in
All
NFL,
right.
and thank you for all your hard work in the NFL.
I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna do one more plug, man. Well, two more actually.
Do it. Go ahead.
Two more, right? So my wife, she has her own baking business. It's Brits Baking Babies on Instagram. It's BRITS Baking.
Okay.
Babies, BAYBEES. So Brits Baking, BAYBEES. Babies on there. And my second plug, shout out to the Cotton Bowl, because I'm a 2020 Cotton Bowl inducted in the Hall of Fame, man, this year. So it's gonna be dope. Ole Miss Hotty Toddy. Thank y'all for supporting me every single day. Shout out Cotton Bowl.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much,
sir.
man. Again,
All
guys,
right, have a good one, man.
check him out.